Hello, and welcome to ReginaldESQ. I'm Underhook, and this is my review of the German Tier 4 tank destroyer, the Marder 38T. So, is it any good? Well, no, it's not any good. It's fantastic.
Yeah, so a very good tank destroyer. If you watched my review of the Tier 3 Marder 2, you'll know that I didn't like it very much at all. And it's like if I gave them a list of everything that was wrong with the Marder 2 and they went away and fixed it, this is what they come back with. It basically, everything that was wrong with the Marder 2 is fixed on the Marder 38T. It is epic. So let's get into the review. Well, it has 270 hit points, the same as the Hetzer, which is the other Tier 4 German tank destroyer, which is about average. The lowest hit points goes to the Stug 3B, the Su-85B. They both have about 260, and the most goes to the Samoa Sau-40, which has 280 hit points, so it's smack in the middle there. Weight-wise, this thing weighs in at about 11 tons, so it is very light. It's not the lightest though. The lightest is the Electo, and the heaviest is the Stug 3B at about 24 ton. Speed-wise, this thing is actually pretty quick. The Marder 2 was very slow. This thing's not slow. It's pretty quick. It does 47 kilometers an hour in forward and a whopping 18 kilometers per hour in reverse. So it actually reverses pretty quick too, which is a real bonus because it doesn't have very good armor. So this thing, though, actually has quite good gun traverse as well as having good reverse speed. So you can kind of put half your tank around a rock, fire your gun and pull back around the rock, which you couldn't really do in the Marder 2. So the fastest in the class is the M8A1 with 58 kilometers an hour in reverse and 58 in forward and 20 in reverse. And the slowest is the French Sau-40 with 37 kilometers an hour in forward. So this thing is pretty quick, quite mobile, and you can actually zoom out towards the end of the game and chase after some kills, which you couldn't really do in the Marder 2. It was just too slow. This thing you can actually move pretty quickly. The track traverse itself is 42 degrees a second, which is the equal best along with the Electo. So can also turn quite quickly, so you can move and get your gun onto other targets really quickly in this tank, which is also great. And it can handle fairly well. So if you come around a corner, you need to fire at something quickly, you can do it in this TD. So yes, the Electo is the other one that's that quick. The slowest is the Hetzer and the Sau-40. They both have 30 degrees a second. As far as the gun traverse goes, I said it was very good. It is. It's 56 degrees of gun traverse. Now, the only one better than that, well, the M8A1 is better, of course, because that has a turret. But the other one is the T40, which is probably my favourite Tier 4 tank destroyer, or was. I haven't really driven it much since the view range nerf, so I don't know how it goes since then. But it has 1 degree more at 57. So this at 56 is fantastic. The worst in class is the Sau-40 at just 15 degrees. So that means that we can keep our gun moving and tracing targets without having to move our tracks, so we don't lose our stationary camouflage bonus, we don't lose our camouflage net bonus, and we also keep our aim in, so we don't lose our aim by moving our tracks. So it allows us to basically get more shots off. The view range, and stay camouflage while we do it, the view range on this tank destroyer is 320 meters, which is not too bad, because the best is the Sau-40 and the Electo with 330. So 320 meters is very good, and it's actually more than the T40 now. T40 only has 310 these days since the nerf. It used to have 400, I think. So the worst is the Hetzer with 260. As far as the signal range goes, 574 is pretty good, and it's not as good as the Hetzer was at 615, but it's definitely not the worst. The worst is the Stug 3B with 433. The best is the M8A1 with 782, which is fair enough. It's a pretty high tank. Now, the camouflage rating on this tank is pretty good. It's definitely not the best. It's sort of, I suppose it's less than average, because it is fairly high, this tank. But it's not the worst. The Sau-40 is pretty terrible, but this thing is still good camouflage. It's just not up there with the best. The best is actually the Electo. Now, gun depression on this tank is really good. It has 9 degrees of gun depression, so you can hill fight, and the gun being fairly close to the top means that you really only have to expose that top section of your tank when you're firing over hills, which is pretty handy. 9 degrees is very good. The best in class is the SAU-40 and the T-40 today. Both have 10 degrees, but at 9 degrees we're not much further behind. The worst is the SU-85B. That only has 5 degrees of gun depression, as does the Electo as well. However, this only has 9 degrees of gun elevation, which isn't very much. I did find there was a couple of sniping positions that I like to use, which I couldn't get into with this tank. Well, I could get into them, but I couldn't shoot out of them because the tank was pointing down and I couldn't get the gun up enough to point at what I wanted it to point at. So that is a little bit of a limiting factor with the tank and is one of the few negatives of this tank. One of the other negatives, I think, of this tank is it doesn't have enough ammunition. I found I was having a couple of times actually having really good games, and I simply ran out of ammunition. Alright, let's have a look at the grind for the tank. Being a tier 4 tank, of course the grind isn't too bad. Basically, of course, you want to get the tracks just because track traverse is very important to tank destroy, especially if you're getting circled by a light or medium tank, and it does increase the track traverse by 4 degrees, so it's definitely worth it. It is a pretty quick TD, so make full use of that by getting the engines. Now, there's 2 guns are pretty similar to the top 2 guns, so you really just want to get the top gun. It is the best gun, but I have got a game for you with this earlier gun. I didn't get to play as many games in this tank as I wanted to because my the cable between Australia and Singapore, the undersea cable, has gone down and I can't play World of Tanks at the moment, so I have to wait. Well, I can, but the ping is anywhere between 200 and 400 and it's unplayable. So I have to wait till they fix that cable. So I didn't play as many games as I wanted to, but this earlier gun here on the left is basically the same penetration and damage as the gun here on the right, but the gun on the right is better in every other way. So basically you want to get to the top gun if you can. But I have got games with the earlier gun simply because I didn't get to play enough games in it. But 18.75 rate of fire is excellent. 108mm of penetration is excellent at tier 4. 110 damage is excellent at tier 4. You can also use premium ammunition, which will give you 154mm of penetration, which is incredible for a tier 4 tank. The .35 accuracy is incredibly good, and that's one area where it is much better than the T40. And 1.5 second aiming time is also incredible. So you don't get much armor with this tank, but you get a gun that is fantastic. And the thing is, that fantastic gun is in a tank that allows you to use the gun really effectively because it has very good traverse and pretty good camo, and it's just an epic TD. Very, very, very good indeed. So let's have a look at Tanks GG, and then we'll get into some gameplay. But I'll just tell you what I've got fitted to the tank. I have small repair kit, large repair kit, large first aid kit fitted. I have binoculars, camouflage net, and toolkit. I would throw out the toolkit and put something else on it if I was going to keep this TD. And the crew is currently 100% trained. The commander is working on 6th sense, which won't be activated because it's not 100%. All the rest of the crew are working on camouflage. They're currently about 82%. But I think the first game I have for you with the earlier gun, the crew actually isn't even fully qualified. But I'll let you know in the game. Okay, so the Marder 38T on the Tanks GG website. We'll go to the hybrid view, and we can see that frontally, actually the lower plate here is 50mm, which is pretty good. And the driver's plate here is also 50mm. The section between the two is sloped, but it's only 12mm slope, so it's very easily penetrated. And the entire rest of the front superstructure here is only 15mm. So hitting this upper area is the best bet on this tank, and you can usually fully penetrate it with HE shells, which will pretty much blow the tank to pieces. However, this tank can angle quite well because it does have 56 degrees of gun traverse. It can angle like this and just have this pretty much from here covered and just this section here showing. And this angle area then is getting up around 60mm and will bounce a lot, especially tier 3, tier 4 scout tanks, and doesn't present that big a target. So it can actually use this armor fairly effectively. The whole side of the tank is 15mm. Once again, if it gets hit with HE, it gets blown to bits. The back is 15 as well. Top deck of the back is 10mm, and this little section of roof here is 8mm. It is an open top tank destroyer, so you can't use vents, and any HE really hitting this section here will just blow it to smithereens. Alright, it's a tier 4 game on steps, and the battle is in counter mode, so there is one cap. we are in our Tier 4 German tank destroyer, the Marder 38T, and as I said, it is a Tier 4 game, so good matchup for this tank. Now at this stage, my crew is not fully trained. They are about 95% trained, and I don't have the top gun yet. So this gun is the PAC 402, not the PAC 403 gun. So it has the same penetration of 108 and the same average damage per shell of 110 as the top gun, but the rate of fire, the accuracy and the aiming time are not as good. So, but I put it in because it was a good game, and it shows you just how you don't have to worry about the grind for this tank. It's not a painful grind. Even this gun is a very good gun. Now, don't have great armor, so of course I'm taking up a sniping position, which is really the role for this TD. Now, it doesn't have a heck of a lot of ammunition. There's only, I think, 38 rounds the tank carries. I have 3 premium rounds loaded and 35 standard rounds. So take a shot there. I think it's an enemy 38T. I didn't quite fire quick enough, or it moved before I could aim. And now I'm just taking a few speculative shots at the bushes that I normally like to hide in when I'm on the other side, and just hoping we might fluke a shot in somebody who's sitting there. But as you can see, that shell went too high. It must have thought I was trying to fire at the mountain behind where I was aiming, and so it flung the shell very high. Now, I don't recommend just spraying out ammunition like this. I think that hit the front of the track and didn't penetrate. So that's where the Top Gun would have been better. Top Gun has fantastic accuracy, so would have had a bit better, more luck there with the Top Gun. And also, of course, my crew not fully trained. You've got to consider that as well when you look at some of these long-range shots. So far, it doesn't look like we've had much luck, unless we've got a couple of hits in that we didn't know about. So, can we get a shot there? No. So this is still early days for me in this tank, and I have had a couple of games where I've actually run out of ammunition. So that's why I don't really recommend blind firing this tank. This tank is capable of doing a lot of damage and doing really well. So blind firing and running out of ammunition is not a good idea. I've had a couple of games where I've actually just had to drive out and try and ram people because I've had no ammunition left. Now, is that a Matilda? Hard to penetrate the Matilda, especially he's angled to me now. I'm going for the side. That one goes in. He's a little bit too side on to me to bounce my rounds. That one tracks him. Another bounce. Bit unlucky there, I think. And we finally nailed him. So you can see there, tank like a Matilda gets caught out in the open. The 108 mils of penetration is enough to take one out. Because, yeah, when you're top tier in a Matilda, you do have excellent armor. But a hidden 38T... Oh boy, we've been flanked. So our team hasn't done well on the... Is that the west side of the map? No? Yeah, it's the west side of the map. So, B1, we get a nice shot into him there, taking a lot of his health off, and I think it was our Type 91 here, finishes him off. Is that a Chihei? I think it is. About to maybe poke the ridge. No, he's decided to go around the other way. So I do have camouflage net, so I'm hoping that I will spot him before he spots me, and we'll be able to get a couple of shots in. Whilst you don't want to be out in the open, the Marder 38T does have a really good rate of fire, especially with the Top Gun, and even though it doesn't have much armor, a lot of people can't out-trade shots with it. We get one in here into the Chihei. That one drops short, and the other guy cleans it up for us. That's the Japanese Type 95 there. Well, the accuracy held true that time, and we get the killing shot on him, and there is a Matilda. We get one through the turret of the Matilda. Might have actually hit the cupola. Have another go, but no, now we probably got spotted there. I don't have Sixth Sense at this stage. Now, I've got tanks behind me, and I've got a Matilda in front of me. I am really concerned about that Matilda just putting shots in my back with a rapid fire gun. If it tracks me, I'm in big trouble. So I decided to move forward and put the rock between myself and the Matilda. And I even go a little bit further, making sure the Matilda, even if it can spot me, it can't shoot me, or it can't shoot me or spot me. I'm still in the bush, so I'm still covered from this tank I know is lurking in this bush here. And I'm just hoping that I can kill whatever's in front of me, spot it and kill it before the Matilda catches up to me. So a little bit risky. Oh, what's that? It's a Hetzer. Okay, well, the other tier 4 German tank destroyer has good armor. Well, the upper plate is good, which is why I'm aiming at its lower plate. And the second one looks like it even went through its upper plate. So great penetration there, getting through the Hetzer's upper plate, which isn't easy to do. Although because the Hetzer was a little lower than me, it would have reduced the benefits of the sloping of the upper plate, and that's probably why I was able to penetrate it fairly easily there. But you can see that with 110 damage per shot, it can rip tanks to pieces pretty quickly if they get caught in the open. I'm looking for this Matilda. My binoculars have activated, but I can't see it. So I'm really concerned about where the hell this Matilda's gone. Oh, and now it's been spotted. How did I... Maybe he moved. Maybe he was stationary and then he moved and I was able to spot him when he moved, or somebody else spotted him. I'm not sure. Could be our Hetzers off to my right there may have spotted it. I'm just going to blind fire in this bush a couple of times. I am still covered by the bush and I've got a fair bit of my tank still behind this rock. And there he is. He's moved again. I'd say we probably hit him with one of those shots and he probably thought he was spotted, so decided to move. Can we get him? I don't want him getting behind me, that's for sure. We managed to finish off the Matilda. Oh, and artillery just misses me, so we were definitely spotted. And what is that we have here? It's an M2 medium. Nice shot. Half his health, more than half his health. I think he's a tier 3, isn't he? So, yeah, a gun like this, tier 4, 2 shots and he's dead. But I don't want to risk it because, like I say, my armor isn't great. Let's see now. We use this bush. Oh, it looks like I'm still spotted because he just took a shot at me. Or was that artillery? I'm not sure. So if you're like me, you don't like firing premium, this gun has excellent penetration. You really don't need to fire premium ammunition. And they've only got artillery left. I don't think... And we're capping as well. I'm going to rush to see if I can get arty, but I'm pretty sure our team's going to cap before I get anywhere. And actually, someone got arty. So that was actually a mastery badge in the tank and high caliber as well. So you can see that even with a not fully trained crew and not even the top gun, you can still have great games in the tank. Right from the moment I drove this tank with a 75% crew and it was stock tank, I just thought, wow, this tank is awesome. So it's one of those tanks right from the get-go. It's fun, enjoyable, and it operates well. So really good tank destroyer. And the next screen we can see that obviously we finished on top for experience for our team, and damage-wise we pretty much tripled anybody else on our team. And let's have a look. And we fired 38 rounds, so we fired all of our ammunition. So probably a good thing that I didn't find artillery because I wouldn't have been able to shoot it anyway. We hit with 18 rounds, 13 of those penetrating. It was mainly, I think it was the Matilda where we bounced most of our rounds. We did 1,273 damage, which is very good for tier 4. 705 of that was at long range. Now, we damaged 7 tanks, destroying 4 of them, and a little bit of assistance damage as well. Income-wise, not too bad. You do end up... Well, I did spend a fair bit on ammunition, even though it was... Oh, actually, I would have ended up firing my 3 premium rounds right at the end there, because I ran out of the standard ammo, so that's why the ammunition cost was so high. Other than that, it's a reasonably profitable tank. 913 XP is mastery in the tank. Well, we're on Melanovka, and it's a tier 6 battle, so we're going to see how the tier 4 38T does in a tier 6 battle. It actually does surprisingly well because, look, it's a tank that has to hide in a bush and snipe, and really you can do that against tier 6s as pretty much as well as you can against tier 4s. And the gun has great penetration. So this time I've got the top gun, the PAC 403. So it has a better rate of fire. Same penetration damage, but better rate of fire and more accuracy. 0.35 accuracy is very, very good, as we're going to demonstrate on this KV-85. Well, we bounced that shot. It is angled. We do get a crit, so I think we tracked him. I really shouldn't be aiming there. I should have aimed at his turret, because it was kind of side on. And you can see here, we are bouncing. Don't know if I penetrated with any of those shots.
We didn't even scratch them.
No. And he's dead. So, anyway, we tracked him, so maybe we got some spotting or track assistance damage on that tank. fair enough, it was a tier 5 heavy, and it was, sorry, tier 6 heavy, KV-85, and it was perfectly angled against us. So I think that's fair enough if we bounce a few shots off that at this range. Now, some of you may be wondering, you all know how the Marder 2 got its name. It was a combination between two tanks, the Marder and the Farker, and they decided not to go with the obvious name, but decided to call it Marder 2. Well, you might wonder how this one became called the Marder 38T. Well, they combined this one after they realised Marder 2 was a bit of a failure. They decided not to combine it with the Farker anymore. Indeed, they went with the next generation tank called the Farder. When they combined the Marder and the Farder together, they ended up with the Toddler. And they called this the Marder 38 Toddler. That's what the T stands for. So I've just been taking a couple of speculative shots, which, as I pointed out last game, is something you shouldn't do in this tank because it doesn't have enough ammunition to do that. Fine to do it in tanks with lots of ammo. Like I was in a Matilda, tier 4 Matilda, that'd be fine, but not in this tank. I might just speed this up to 2 times because it's a little bit boring at the moment. I'm just waiting for this tank to hopefully spot something on the enemy team. Oh, and I'm back to normal speed now because it has spotted that M3 Lee. And he's dead. And what's this tank? Well, doesn't matter because it's dead. T-3485? No, it can't be a T-3485. Yes, it is. Tier 6 Russian medium tank. Trying to anticipate his movements there. I'm missing him. Well armoured medium, that tank. And I'm not hitting it. The shell velocity isn't super quick. It's probably the only negative I would say. But then very few of the tier 4s are. Get one into the M5 Stuart there. Track him with that shot. That one misses. Another one into him. And we managed to nail the M5 Stuart there. So we're not doing too bad. The tank only has, what, 270 hit points. We've done over 400 points of damage at the moment, so we're doing okay. Our team is winning narrowly. And we've had someone else spotted. Can we get a shot on this tank? No. Someone else nails it already. I'm thinking that now, you know what? I'm going to have to move forward because they don't have that many tanks left. 3 of the tanks they have left are artillery. And our tanks are already almost in their base on both sides of the map. So I start moving forward, and then we've come into view range of this OE. Tier 5. You can see I'm getting a red indicator pretty much everywhere there. So really not a lot of point in shooting at it except maybe tracking it. I'm hoping I'm tracking it now. But really, once again, I shouldn't be doing this because this tank just doesn't have enough ammunition to do it. The Crusader there's been spotted, and we managed to get the finishing shot on that. So as I'm moving forward, I'm hopefully using these bushes in the middle of the map for a little bit of cover on the way through. I can see there's been another tank spotted, but I'm waiting till I get to the bushes before I take aim at it. And this is the OE again.
We didn't even scratch
You
them.
can see there the frontal arm is actually... now he's turned side on. We might be able to pen. And we do. 128, nice shot. That one didn't go through. That one did, yep. So we'll see, we can pen side on, not a problem. It's only 70 mils, I think it's 70 mils on the side. And we actually get the killing blow there. And actually those last 2 rounds we fired actually were premium rounds because I've only got 1 round left in the gun now. But I think one of the ones that wasn't premium did penetrate the side as well. So it will penetrate the side, no problems with standard ammunition. So now I'm moving towards cap. They have still 5 tanks left, and as you can probably guess, I don't kill them all because I've only got 1 round left in my gun, which I'm looking at using on this M7. Tier 5 American medium with poor armor, and we get the kill there. Not sure, I think I have realised that I am out of ammunition, so I'm pulling back to this bush to hopefully just do some spotting and accidentally knock it over, which isn't good. So I'm hoping I might just get a little bit of assistance damage here at the end of the game. Actually, I might not have realised, because the way I'm looking there through my gun sight, I'm probably madly clicking the left button going, why isn't it firing? Oh dear. So, I've obviously realised now, and I'm just heading to the cap to try and get a few points out of the cap circle, and also put a bit of pressure on the other artillery to maybe start coming and looking for me. Not hiding behind any bushes, because that's obviously, if they're going to try and stop the cap, they're going to shoot at a bush probably. And our team is cleaning them up, and it does indeed clean them up. I don't cap or anything like that. Alright, so that was a class 1 in the tank. And let's have a look at the next map. And we finished second for XP on our team. Let's have a look at the next one. So we fired all of our ammunition yet again. Very foolish of me in this game, firing it all off like that. And we actually didn't have a chance to clean up any of the others. We probably would have done a bit more damage if I hadn't sprayed my ammo everywhere. 27 hits for 11 penetration. So we can see at tier 6 we do bounce a lot more shots. We did 1,000 damage anyway. Most of that, as you see, almost all of that at long range. Damaging 6 tanks, destroying 4 of them. So we still did pretty well in a tier 6 game. And a little bit of 45 capture points there as well. Once again, because we didn't take any damage, but because of all that ammunition we fired, including 3 premium rounds, cost us a fair bit, and didn't make much profit. 729 XP is a class 1 in the tank. We're on mines. We are top tier. We have the top gun. We have a fully trained crew. So let's blow up some tanks. I'll just speed it up to 2 times while moving in position. Let's make that 4 times. 2 times. And normal speed. So, taking up a sniping position as you do with this tank. Or as I do anyway. And we've got AT-28. Managed to get one into him. Second one goes a little low. Will I blind fire? Oh, he's dead anyway. And the enemy appears a little inexperienced, which is good for us. 0.35 accuracy on this gun, and it does work well. Even though some of those shells look like they should have missed, that would have probably been a bit of lag. Yes, I recorded this before I got my new PC. But anyway, I wanted to play more games than this to get you some even better games in it. But the connection between Australia and Singapore has gone down yet again. The undersea cable is once again broken. So I'm getting a very high ping, sort of bounces around between 200 and over 400 during gameplay. Not in this game, but at the moment. So there we go, another tank down. And what's his hetzer? Get one into it there. I think that hit its track. That one I would have thought would have gone in. It did look like it hit the lower plate. Oh, there's somebody out in the open. What is it? Oh, it's a Marder 2. I feel sorry for anyone in that TD, especially out in the open like that. As you will see from my review of the Marder 2. Yeah. Anyway, now we've got a Stug, which from the results I see is probably a better TD, so we'll review that at some stage. But he's also in the open, not a good place for that sort of a TD. And was that an M3 elite? No, I think that was an M2 medium. Anyway, that's a Top Gun. And how long did that take us? It's not even 12 minutes left, so less than 3 minutes we got a Top Gun. But that's how much damage you can do with this gun and how quickly you can do it, especially when you're top tier. Because you're not really going to bounce many shots at top tier when you're top tier. So, yeah, it's pretty darn effective. There's a DW2 up there. We can easily penetrate the DW2, but just a matter of getting in position to get a shot on it. So I'm quite prepared to come out of the bush at this stage, but you can see here my gun elevation isn't enough to point at the tank, so I have to back up to a flatter section here. My tank was pointing a little bit downhill, I had to back up. So, and once again, even there, I can't point my tank, even though it's been a rock, I can't point my gun at that tank because the gun elevation is not sufficient. So you do run into that issue every now and then in this tank. Fortunately, this game I haven't been blind firing all over the place, and I haven't run out of ammunition, which is good. As you can see, it's not slow. We're doing over 40 kilometers an hour, and we're going up a bit of a hill. So the tank is plenty powerful enough to get around and go and scoop up some easy kills at the end of the game. Now, I've got to be careful. Looks like there's a Hetzer on top on my right. Is he on top of the hill? I think he is. So I probably should go around and shoot him in the back. But then I see this guy here is already lit up. So let's line him up. Darn! Somebody else got the kill. Okay, so I'm thinking now about going up on the hill. I've still got that DW2 though on my left. He might shoot me as I'm going up the hill. So I'm kind of in two minds here. Oh, someone's been spotted. And the Hetzer's also lit up, but this Artie, can we hit it? Yes, so you get one in there. 119 is a good damage roll, average damage 110. We missed with that shot, but not with that one, and we're finishing off. So they only have 3 tanks remaining, or we have 4 tanks remaining. So DW2 can't get a shot on from here. Someone has killed the Hetzer, so it's safe for me to come out this far now. And I'm hoping to spot the other artillery, but it's not showing up. I thought I would have spotted it from here. DW2's been killed, and it's only their arty left, so I decided to move forward. Do have to be a little bit careful in this because you're an open top. You can get one shot by artillery. I'm guessing, because he hasn't been lit up on my left, that I'm going to go up the top of the hill, because sometimes it's really hard to light them up if at the back of the top of this hill. And he's been lit up on the other hill. Quickly turning. Can we get a shot? Oh, my gun elevation. I have to back up the hill to get my gun elevation so I can get my gun on the tank, and he's already destroyed. So I know that wasn't the most exciting game in the world, but it does show you how quickly when you're top here you can rack up kills and rack up damage. So it was a class 1 in the tank. We got a top gun and high caliber for that game. And of course we finished on top 4 XP and well on top 4 damage. We fired 26 shots, so we had a fair bit of ammo to spare. 17 direct hits of the 17, 14 penetrated. A bit unlucky with the hits on the Hetzer there, I think it was. Total damage of 1,062. And my best game in this tank, I think I did about 1,550 damage. So you can rack up a fair bit of damage in it. Let's see. About half of it was from long range. We spotted 1 tank, damaged 9, destroying 7. And this time we didn't use up any premium ammunition, so the tank was actually quite profitable. So there you go. If you don't fire any premium by running out of all your ammo like an idiot, you will actually make a pretty good profit. And 700 and what was that? 85 or something is a class 1 in the tank. Thank you for watching my review of the Marder 38T. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, please give it a thumbs up. If you'd like to see more reviews, please subscribe to ReginaldESQ. Have fun.